Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Rami, I'm the CEO of OnceHub. So we'll talk about the vulnerability of passwords. Then I'm going to show a demo of all the features that you can use to protect your account. And finally, we will talk a bit about balancing security and ease of use. So passwords can be a major vulnerability. There is a report that is issued once a year by Verizon, a data breach investigations report. And in the 2018 version of this report, they had a staggering figure of 81% of hacking-related breaches leveraged either stolen or weak passwords. And there is another important data point that over 70% of employees reuse passwords at work. So obviously passwords are a weak point, and there are many things that organizations are doing to improve on that. The organizations use password managers, and they use a single sign-on. There are different ways to combat it, and employee education. We're not going to discuss these measures today. They are measures at the organization level. What we are going to discuss is the tools that we give you to enforce your password policies. One final data point is about the Dropbox data breach that resulted in 68 million user credentials being stolen. This breach started from an employee reusing a password, and that password was hacked basically. So the hackers had a password, and then they could log into Dropbox. And it took a long time for Dropbox to even discover that this breach happened. So it was just started. It started from a reuse of a password. So let's talk about the password policies we have. So this is the most simple way to secure your account. And the password policies can be enforced at the organization level. So the organization is all the users that use your account. So every user on your account will need to conform to a certain length of password, or to a certain complexity or expiration or history. So let's jump into the product and see how this looks like. So that's what I need. Yep. Okay, so here we have, this is the home page for the OnceHub account. And if I go into security, password policies, this is where I can see all the policies. So these are the default settings. So we make it easy for users. The default is 6 characters. In terms of complexity, we only require lowercase and numbers, but you can also ask for capital letters and special characters. There's password expiration. They never expire, or they can expire after X days. Let's say you want it to expire after 90 days. And also password history, if users can reuse their previous passwords, or if they cannot reuse a certain number of passwords going back. So let's keep it at 8. The most important parameter here is the password length. If you really want to make it more difficult to guess your password by password crackers or in any other way, then that's the one to focus on. And if you set it at 10 characters, you're already in a very good place. It will take a lot of time for a password cracker to guess this password. And this is already much more secure. Like if you want to do just one thing here, just make the password longer. 6 characters is a bit light. 10 and above is really great. So let's save this. So this is the policy that we have now, and we need to apply it. But let's say we already have users on the account. We may have 10, 20 users. How do we enforce it? So first of all, if a user changes their password, so I'm going to go into my profile and go into the password, and I want to change it. That's my current password, and the new password, you can see all the requirements. These are all the requirements that we just had, and I'm going to add something. So you can see that I'm missing. It needs to be 10 characters, and it needs to have an uppercase. So let's add an uppercase. Let's add a number. Let's add a special character. It needs to be different, and it needs to be at least 10 characters. So let's add a few more, and that's it. We're good. So this is how this is enforced. And if I want to change my password, this is what I'm going to have to comply with. So that's if I change the password. If the user if the user doesn't change the password, then we need to force them to change the password. How is this done? At some point, their password is going to expire, and we want this to happen quickly. We need to set an early expiration date. So this is what they will see when the password expires. They will have to select a new password according to the policy. And in order to make this policy take effect immediately, we can go to the password policies again. I'm not saving that. And here I can say I want it to expire within 7 days. So if I save it now, within 7 days, all the passwords will expire. So all users will have to replace their password according to the policy. And after they do that, I can go back and say, let's put it at 90 days, or maybe I don't want it to expire at all. That's also good. Again, the most important factor here is the length. Once you have a good length, you're already in much better territory. So this is passwords. Next, let's go into two-factor authentication. So when we talked about passwords is the first door. So this is the bars, the password is the first door. Two-factor authentication, it adds an additional layer. So there is another door, and in order to open the second door, you need to enter a code. So how is this code delivered? It's delivered to your mobile number. So you get it to your mobile phone, and even if someone knows your password, without getting hold of your mobile phone, they will not be able to get in. So it really adds a very good layer of security. Let's see how this works. So I'm going back to the account. And what I would do in my profile, I would go to authentication. And this is where I'm going to set it up. So I enable two-factor authentication. And here, this is a sensitive action. So I will need to add to enter my password. And now I can just enter my mobile number and save. When I do that, I'm going to receive a code that is going to be sent to my mobile number, and then I can verify the code, and my number will be verified. I'll show you a different account. I don't want to enable this one on two-factor, but I will sign out. And I will sign in as a new user that has two-factor authentication enabled. So I entered my password, and now I'm waiting for the code. The code has arrived. I'll just take it from my mobile. Okay, and I'm in. It's that simple. So it takes another 5-10 seconds, but you have two layers of security. So that's two-factor. So two-factor is a very popular method to secure the account, and it is highly recommended by various security regulations and frameworks and governments. For example, the US government has actually made it mandatory for managing federal government website, and the European Network for Information Security is also recommending it for GDPR compliance. With PCI, it's mandatory. The New York DFS for Financial Regulation also highly recommends it. HIPAA recommends it, and the Federal Financial Institutions Examination Council also recommends it. So it's highly recommended, and this is why we added it. We think it enhances the security of your account in a very big way. Okay, let's talk about account lockout policies. What are they and why do we need them? So account lockout policies protect your account against someone guessing your password. This can be a human that is trying to guess your password or a bot. So a human can be, for example, a social engineer. Maybe they're collecting information about you and trying to guess your password. Because they know some information about you. Maybe they look at your social media profile and try to use your pet's name or whatever. So this is one way that your password can be guessed. And another way is just with a password cracker with a bot. So can do a brute force and try multiple combinations. Regardless of the method, you can set it so the account gets locked based on a number of failed attempts within a certain time period. And once the account is locked, it's not such a big deal. It can easily be unlocked. I'll show you how it's locked and also show you how it's unlocked. So let's go into the account, and I'm going to go again into security and into account lockout policies. So by default, account lockout is disabled. I can enable it. And here we can select how many failed attempts we want to have. Let's select 4. And within what time frame? Let's leave it at 15 minutes. And I'm going to save. So that's it. I'm now going to sign out. And I'm going to sign in again. And I'm entering a wrong password. So I have 4 attempts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Locked out. That's it. I cannot get in anymore. And as soon as this happens, an email is being sent to me and to all the administrators. So I'm going to refresh. Okay, so you can see this is the email that I'm receiving. You have been locked out of your OnceHub account. My name is IS, that's the name of this account. There have been multiple consecutive sign-in attempts on your OnceHub user profile. As a security measure, you've been temporarily locked out. So that's to me. And there are additional admins on the account. So each admin, it's all coming into this email, but each admin is also receiving an email and saying the same thing more or less, but it is telling the admin which user it is. So now the admin can talk to the user, can see if it's real or not, understand what happened, and easily unlock it. Let's unlock the account now. So I'm going to sign in now as another admin. This is the first admin that I was signed in with, just demo at OnceHub. Okay, I'm signed in and I'm going into the users. And here we go. This is IS user. And you can see the user is locked out. To restore access, all I need to do is click restore access and confirm. And that's it. The user can sign in as usual. So this was account lockout. Let's look at the last security feature, session timeout policies. Why do we need these? These prevent unauthorized access to your account when you're not at your desk. So if you're working in an environment that is not private, and maybe you get a phone call, you need to be away from your desk, it prevents someone coming in and just looking at your computer. If your computer doesn't lock, it's also good to have a policy at the operating system level that locks the screen. But if you don't have it and you just have a screensaver and they can just move the mouse and see your account, so you can enforce it on the OnceHub account level. And basically, it's a very simple setting. It's an automatic sign out after X minutes of inactivity. Let's see how this works. So again, I will go to security, into session policies. And currently, by default, it's disabled. And I can have it enabled. Users are signed out after X minutes of inactivity. Let's put it at 15 minutes, for example, and save. I'm not going to wait 15 minutes now, so I will show you a screenshot of how it looks. What will happen is that the user will automatically be signed out. Again, it only happens when the user is not active. If the user is working in the account, they will never be signed out. You need to leave the computer and not touch the browser for 15 minutes. And then you'll be signed out and you will see this message that your session has timed out due to inactivity. All you need to do is simply sign in again and you're in. That's it, very simple. So these are the four type of security features we have. One final note is about balancing security and ease of use. When we add more layers of security, it always creates an overhead. So we need to really see if there is a business case for adding more security, and we need to do what makes sense. Go for the low-hanging fruit first. That's why we provide more than one method. It's not that we provide just, for example, password policies or only two-factor authentication. We provide all these methods to secure your account, and some of them are serving different purposes. And it's important that you pick what makes sense for you. For example, if you are working in a completely private environment, maybe session policies are not relevant. And maybe from password policies, you just want to pick the password length. And an account lockout, maybe it's a rare event, so you can set it up to a very high number of attempts, so it doesn't bother you unnecessarily. So there is a lot of room to play with how you set up these features in order to balance the ease of use. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.